All right, so I just wanted to show you my sleeping system for the hammock. It was 34 degrees. It got down to 34 last night, probably a little bit colder, so maybe below freezing. And I was a little bit nervous coming out because I haven't tried this before. But I don't have an underquilt, and what that is actually a 50-degree synthetic sleeping bag that I got from Field and Stream. And that was cheap. I think I got that for like 60 bucks. And what I did was, it took some doing, but I just, tied it up to my hammock. And, I just did a little slip knot right here. And then I, did some little tensioners right here that went around a carabiner. So that way I could, tension it this way or tension it that way. And I did it on both sides, both ends. And I just put like a little pine cone in here just to, give it some extra so it would hold. And did that on both ends. There, up to a carabiner on both ends. And the sleeping bag was great. I mean, there's this little hole right here, but when you're in it, you kind of close that up when you lay down. And it's a full-length sleeping bag for me, and I'm 6'1", and it was perfect, just enough room. I was able to sleep diagonally in it, no problem. One thing I think I would want to change is for the cordage that I use to attach it, to use maybe some sort of like bungee, just because when you get down in it, I actually had a little carabiner that broke because I had it too tight at first. So I think I'd replace that with maybe some bungee cord, but it was really easy. I did all this in probably 30 minutes at home to test it out, and then I brought it out here hesitant whether or not it would work, and it did just fine. One thing I did have under in between it was my Sea to Summit sleeping pad that I just slid between this underquilt I made and my hammock, and that was great because it created that perfect insulation barrier that I needed. I think with just this I would have been a little screwed, and it would have been a little bit of a tough night, but this with that was perfect. I slept comfortably. I didn't have long johns on or anything, and I have my regular 20-degree sleeping bag from Big Agnes, and the whole thing was fine in 34 degrees or close to freezing. And this is actually a Sea to Summit. I can't remember which one it is, but you can look it up. It's the green one. It's pretty lightweight. It has a little bit of insulation, a little bit high R value, so it'd be fine, sleeping on the ground in the wintertime on snow, and I've done that before, so it provided a lot of insulation. And I kind of had it sticking out here a little bit, so that way my feet, when they were resting on there, were on the pad the whole time. And I noticed when I was moving around in the middle of the night, going from my side to my back, to kind of the fetal position, it wasn't moving at all. And if I did want to slightly adjust it, it was easy just to, reach underneath my sleeping bag, or, between these two layers, grab it and move it. And it, moved a little bit freely on its own. So it was easy to adjust. But yeah, all in all, it was a great, setup, and I didn't have to pay $300 for an underquilt. And it's something I'm going to do, until the summer season really hits.